Friends, in today's video, we are discussing about the transverse section of the ovary or the histological structure of the ovary, as shown here in this diagram. Previously, we have studied about the tiers of testes, the transverse section of the male gonad. Now, today we are going to repeat. Today we are going to study about the tiers of the female gonad, the ovary. Ovary, it is divided into the two main parts, as they say. The central part, this is which is made up of the blood vessels, the nerve endings, and so on and so forth. And this is the central part of the ovary, and the outermost part of that ovary, this one is the outer part, which is called the cortex, and here the central part, which is made up of the blood vessel, nerve ending, and so on, so it is called the stroma one. So this outermost lining is here shown in the cortex region, that internally it is lined by means of the germinal epithelium, the germ cells. These cells, they have capacity to produce the new cells called the germinal cells, and the layer it is called to be the germinal epithelium. While studying the tiers of the testes, we studied that the testes, which consists of the large numbers of the seminiferous tubules, and each of the seminiferous tubule internally it is lined by means of the germinal epithelium, and which gives rise to the germ cells, and subsequently the male sex cells, the sperms. And in these certain cells are specialized, and which was called to be the nurse cells or mother cell, also called to be the Sertoli cells, which are nourishing one. They provide nourishment to the developing sperm. So about the tiers of the testes. Now, while studying the tiers of ovary, in the similar fashion like that of the testes, the innermost lining here, it is called the germinal epithelial cells or the germinal epithelium, which gives rise to the germ cells. And number of the germ cells, they come together and forms a follicle, that is, and this follicle they seen in the different stages of their development, like that of the primordial follicle, the primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, and finally the mature follicle or Graafian follicle. So these follicles, which are seen in different stages of their development, internally it contains a single cell, that is the egg, which is in the developing stage again, and surrounded by means of the follicular cells. All these are the here follicular cells are there. These follicular cells, they secrete the hormone that is called the estrogen, which maintain the menstrual cycle and the growth of the follicles. As these follicles, as time advances, these follicles get developed into the mature follicle, are also called to be the Graafian follicle. And on 14th day of the menstrual cycle, this Graafian follicle, which contain a oocyte, it rupture to produce the ovum. And here, for the rupturing of this Graafian follicle or mature follicle, the hormone required is LH, the luteinizing hormone. And on 14th day of the menstrual cycle, the egg is released from the ovary and picked by the oviduct, what is fimbriae of the oviduct, and the further development it goes on. And if suppose this rupturing of this Graafian follicle, as ovum is released, the remains of the Graafian follicle is now called as the corpus luteum. And this corpus luteum, it acts like that the endocrine gland and secrete the female hormone that is called as the progesterone, and this progesterone maintains pregnancy if pregnancy holds up. If no pregnancy holds up, then this corpus luteum get converted into the corpus albicans, and this corpus albicans and finally shed out of the body by the beginning of the next menstrual cycle. So just what I said here, that this corpus luteum, which act like the endocrine gland and secrete the hormone that is called the progesterone hormone. This progesterone hormone maintains the pregnancy, and if no pregnancy holds up, then it is converted into corpus albicans, and which is thrown out of the body by the next menstrual cycle. This is about the tiers of the ovary, the detailed structure. So friends, I am here also sending the notes of this topics of the reproductive system. Till so far we have studied. Go through this and take out the notes and study well. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, thanks.